Good morning. Today I'm going to show you how to make these two cute bunny cupcakes for Easter. The ear cutters you can buy directly from me, and I'm going to show you how to make the pretty little flowers and the noses. So for this cupcake I have added 2 ears, which I'll show you how to use these cutters, and I left them just overnight so that they could dry firmly and so that you could just put them directly into the buttercream, which made it easier. I also made some to put on this cupcake topper. The disc itself is soft, but the ears were nice and hard to stick onto the soft topper before I started making my cupcake. So I'm going to show you how to make the ears now. Now I use Saracino modeling paste for all my decorations on my cupcakes and the main disc for my cupcake topper. Roll some white paste out, about 2 millimeters thick. Don't go too thick. I tried various thicknesses to see how they work, and too thin, it's too papery thin. You need just the right thickness. Too thick, you can't actually fold the ear over and get too much movement. It just doesn't look quite right. The pink you roll even thinner out, and the pink is just to go in the inside of the ear. So you don't want this too thick and standing out. Place it on your white piece. You can use a bit of sugar glue to stick it, but I didn't need to as it was a bit tacky. Gently pick up your ear, and you're going to make it just a small dent where you want to fold it over. I just use the side of my finger and fold the ear over and pinch at the bottom. Now you can shape it any which way you want. You can have the ear folded over a little bit, you can have it just bent a little bit, but just dry it in the position that you want it to be in, and it will be perfect. Like I said, overnight or a good few hours, it will be perfect to use. Now for the different flowers that I've got on my cupcakes, I have a selection of cutters. These are from different sets as I've bought over the years. Some are just the bog standard plunger cutters from PME, some are just some metal cutters from other sets, but they've all got 5 petals. The reason they've got 5 petals and on these is that I use a veiner, which you will see later, to make the veins on my petals. Obviously some sugar pearls to add to the middle of my flowers, and I have some teardrop cutters that I use for my leaves when I want little leaves on characters. So to make your leaves, I'm using a teardrop cutter here. I will also show you how to use a heart cutter to make an easy leaf. Just use a fan brush to pop the icing out of your cutter, and then using your Dresden tool, make a little line in your leaf and then fold over and pinch. These are great little leaves for small projects when you don't need massive leaves on your cakes. And I always make various sizes to go on my cupcakes and on little characters. So just make up another one, and then like I said, I will show you how to actually make one with a heart too. I will share links of where to get different cutters and the veiner that you will see in a little bit. Pop the heart out, and where it's rounded, just pinch that part together and pull slightly and point. So now I'm going to show you how to make a flower. So I'm using a small petunia cutter. I'm going to cut some with my paste and use a paintbrush to just pop this out and place this into the mold. I will share a link below where to get a mold like this, and press the mold closed, and you've got a pretty veined flower, and just bend the mold back and pop your flower out. You can do this with all your 5 petal flowers that fit within the mold. Just add a little bit of sugar glue and a sugar pearl to finish off your flower, and then make a whole set of different sizes and colors ready for your cupcakes. So I'm going to show you how to make the nose for your cupcakes. I'm going to show you 2 ways. The first way is using a heart cutter. I rolled the paste about 5 millimeters thick here. Cut out a heart and press the heart shape out through the back so you don't indent the front that you're going to be showing on your cake or cupcake. Now use the heart cutter to cut a little V into the top. This is where you're going to fit the nose into. Using a Dresden tool, just make a little line up the snout towards the nose. And now I'm going to add a little lip in here. I use a tiny bit of white modeling paste. You can obviously add teeth if you prefer, but I prefer to just add lip. A little bit less work when you're making quite a few. Make it pointed on each end and gently add this to the back of the nose part and press down nicely to keep your shape, and you've got a little lip. So you want to add a nose. You can add obviously any color you like, and you're going to make it into a bit of a triangle shape to fit into what you've cut out above. But to start with, soften your paste and roll a little ball shape, and you will see when I've got the ball shape, I just use my fingers to shape into a more triangular shape. So just gently press in between your fingers to get that triangle and to flatten across the top slightly, and push this into place to finish off the whole snout area for your cupcake. This is just a longer snout. I will show you how to make a shorter one by hand. Now to show you how to make a hand molded nose for your cupcake. So I've rolled a piece of white paste here into a slightly oval shape, then place this on my mat and gently on the edges pulled it down slightly so it's got more of a heart shape for the nose. Use the side of my finger to just make a little dent in the bottom and gently press around the edges so that you're smoothing it nicely down to the mat. And you're going to add a little lip again, just like I did with the first one. Tiny little piece of white paste, pointy each end, and add to the back of this shape. Now for this one, I don't cut away where I'm going to fit the nose. I just place the nose on the snout part. So I'm going to use my Dresden tool to add a line in again, and then I'm going to use the other side of my tool to just press down where I want to add the nose. Just gently press down and you have your snout ready for the nose to be added. Again, just a little bit of pink paste, and exactly like you did the last one, you're just going to press this between your fingers to get that lovely little shape of the bunny's nose. Very easy to do, and when you're making quite a few of them, you can make them in different stages. So you can make these last and add them all at the end once you've made all the little snout parts. And gently press into place so that's ready to be added to your cupcake. These don't need drying time, they can be added directly to the cupcake. I have just tidied up on the edges here to just straighten it a little bit and give it more of a triangular shape. So there you can see, nice and easy, add it onto your cupcakes. And obviously make bigger ones for the next cupcake. For this cupcake topper, I've just rolled out some paste so it's nice and soft. Now the ears that I'm adding here are still a bit too soft. They did need to be left overnight, but I wanted to show you how I place the ears on. So make sure that your paste for the topper is still soft, and then you will add dry ears on. And the reason I want this to be soft is so you can make these little dents in the paste where your ears will stick on. You will see the difference now when I'm adding ears that have only been drying for about half an hour as opposed to my actual topper that I've made to the left here. You can see how the ears are standing up more on the left topper. So I just wanted to show you how to place them on here and how to make the little eye, and then I'll show you how to place some flowers just so that you get an idea of how to make them. So make your ears the day before and then start putting them all together the next day when your ears are dry, and they will stay up a lot better. These would look really cute in a cupcake box. It could be a bit tricky putting them in the box with the ears, but I just thought they were too cute not to try. So I've got a bit of black paste here, and all I've done is I've rolled it thin on each edge, and you're just going to use a tool to bend this over into a little eyelash shape so it looks like the bunny's smiling or that its eyes are closed. And you're going to add that onto your topper, and obviously make one for each side. Try and get them as even as possible, and just gently work up a point so you've got a lovely little eyelash to add to your topper. I'm just going to show you how I place it, and I would just use a bit of sugar glue to stick it in place where I need it to be. Now I'm just going to add a bit of glue and just show you how to place some leaves and some flowers on and around this. Again, my flowers and things I would have left for at least a couple of hours or even overnight to dry. You can make them straight up and put them directly on. That's a fantastic thing about Saracino paste. You can make them, they hold their shape, and you can stick them directly onto the cupcakes without them losing shape, especially little flowers like this. So I'm just adding my leaves. I always use the back of my Dresden tool just to push them down and make sure that they're sticking properly. Very easy to add. And again, you can do this like a production line, get all your bunny faces ready, add the ears, and then add the leaves and flowers to each one. So I'm going to just add some flowers now. I've added a little bit of glue on the back and just place that on. Now I only made these flowers 10-15 minutes before I started making the video, so you can see they're still flexible enough to add, and you can change them around, but they're not being damaged by me touching them and moving them and adding them on. I actually prefer them being a little bit softer because you can tuck them in neatly together. And there you have a pretty little bunny. And this is what it would look like once it has dried off nicely.